Good morning, students. Today we are going to understand the topic protocols. Students, what is the meaning of the word protocol? Actually, in our real life, if we talk of the word protocol, it means that we follow a set of rules for doing certain work. Suppose I am talking with one of my friends. So there should be certain protocol while we both interact with each other. When I shall talk, my friend is going to follow a protocol, and according to that protocol, he is going to quietly listen while I am talking. And when my friend is talking with me or giving some information to me verbally, I am to remain quiet. So I also have to follow the same protocol. So when I talk with my friend, he remains quiet and patiently listens to what I say. And when my friend talks back, I remain quiet and listen to him with full patience. This is an unsaid, understood protocol. It is not that when we meet, we first discuss these protocols with each other. We don't discuss these protocols with each other, but both of us know about it. And this applies to each and every conversation which goes on in this world. Suppose I am a teacher and I am teaching a class. So when I will speak to the class, the students of the class knows the protocol and therefore remains quiet. And when one of the students speaks back to me or asks certain question, I remain quiet and listen to him and address to his queries, that is, answer his questions. So in real life, we follow certain protocols. Similarly, when we talk of computer networks or computers within a internet connectivity, so when one computer communicates with another computer, the computer has to follow certain protocol, and the computer that receives the message, that also follows certain protocol. That means in computer world also protocols are required. Without protocol, the computer world cannot send or receive data. And that is what the topic is for today's class. So let us first understand on the basis of computer science what a protocol is. So I start the presentation and we go to the first question for today. What is a protocol? Now students, protocol is nothing but a set of rules, as I said, that must be followed while the computers communicate or transfer data over the network or internet. So protocols are required, students. And students, it is not that there is one protocol that works every time. There are different protocols. And these protocols are actually addressing different types of facilities, that is different types of uses that we take over the network. Suppose when we are trying to see a news channel, we use a protocol which actually is accordance to a news group. Or when we send a news to somebody, then also we use a protocol which is in accordance to news group. And the protocol known for it is NNTP, that is Network News Transfer Protocol. So these are few protocols we will talk of, and this is one of the protocols which I am only verbally telling you. This NNTP is not within the scope of your class 8, but therefore It is not been mentioned in this slides, but I am talking of them because you should know them as a matter of general knowledge. Suppose when we try to send an email, then for sending email, there is a protocol called SMTP that is followed. It is known as Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. And nowadays, there are few more protocols which help in sending mails, like POP, that is Post Office Protocol. So these things you should know as a matter of general knowledge, and it is not directly given in your book. But after this given slide, we are going to those given topics which are in your book. So let us proceed further. So let us go for some important protocols according to your book. The first protocol is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Students, whenever you surf a given page on internet, or I should say whenever you are doing something on internet, you are actually using Hypertext Transfer Protocol. That is, your computer in the network is following a protocol called Hypertext Transfer Protocol, in short HTTP. This protocol is used to successfully transfer hypertext. We'll see it in a slide henceforth. Now let us go to the second protocol. The second protocol is HTTPS, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. Now students will understand what is the difference between simple HTTP and HTTPS when we deal with them broadly. Third protocol which we will talk of is FTP, that is File Transfer Protocol. This protocol is actually used for transferring files over the internet, that is uploading and downloading files over the internet. We'll see it also with broader details. Then there is a protocol called Transmission Control Protocol / Internet Protocol, in short TCP/IP. Student, this is also a protocol which is very important while you send any given data over a computer network on internet. We'll see how they work. So students, we saw few protocols. What were those? Let us see it again. HTTP, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Then Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, that is HTTPS. Then File Transfer Protocol, in short FTP. And then TCP/IP, that is Transmission Control Protocol / Internet Protocol. So let us see these protocols one by one. The first protocol for us is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Students, this protocol was defined by the person who is very famous, name being Tim Berners-Lee. Tim Berners-Lee is also known as the creator of WWW, that is World Wide Web. In this protocol, students, we actually transfer hypertext. Now what is hypertext? You know the word hyper? I always say hyper means a bit more. Suppose you have heard of the word hypertension. What is it? It is more tension than normal. You have heard the word hyperactive. What is it? More active than normal. So the word hypertext means more than simple text. And what is that more than simple text? The protocol actually is used to transfer not only text but also video, animation, images, sound, etc. on the internet, that is World Wide Web. And students, this has been actually the most widely used protocol to transfer a file over internet or to simply view web pages over internet, as web pages contain hypertext. Now students, will go to the next given protocol. The next protocol is Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, HTTPS. Now students, what is the difference between HTTP and HTTPS? We'll see it. Now students, HTTPS is the secure version of HTTP. That is, HTTPS protocol provides much more security over internet. That is, when we use internet, our data, our web page, our devices are much more secure with respect to the level of security that had been given by HTTP. And therefore, nowadays, most of the internet servers and clients have shifted to HTTPS, and they are even nowadays shifting from HTTP to HTTPS, as HTTPS is more secure. Now let us see the difference properly, HTTP and HTTPS. Now students, HTTP is the older version, but HTTPS is a very new and secure version. HTTP provided lesser protection from data theft. Your data was more vulnerable. The data could be easily hacked. The hacker could hack your data, use your sensitive data, use your bank account details, and could easily do cyber crime. But when we have started using HTTPS, we nowadays have better protection from data theft. The hackers find it hard to steal information over the internet. Moreover, HTTP was comparatively slower. Whenever you used HTTP to see a web page, the web pages came to you or came to your screen a bit slower when compared with HTTPS. HTTPS is comparatively faster. Whenever you search for a website, the result you get is faster when we use HTTPS. And why hackers find HTTP easy but HTTPS hard to hack on? Because in HTTP, whenever a hacker hacks a message, the message can easily be understood by that hacker. But when we use HTTPS, the messages are encrypted. There is a feature called end-to-end encryption, where whenever a hacker hacks the message, he actually cannot understand the message because the message is encrypted. He needs a decrypting software to understand it, which he doesn't have or she doesn't have if he or she is a hacker. Let us now go to the third protocol. The third protocol is File Transfer Protocol. As I said, students, File Transfer Protocol is a protocol which helps to transfer files over the internet. So, this protocol is generally used for transferring files from one computer to another computer on the internet. Actually, students, this protocol is the protocol which is used for even uploading the files on internet as well as downloading the file from the internet. That is, whenever you want to upload a file on the web server. That is, whenever you want to make a website and upload it on the web server. The whole website when uploaded is using FTP protocol in addition to HTTP or HTTPS protocol. Because file is being transferred, and file will be transferred when which protocol is followed? File transfer protocol, that is FTP is followed. Similarly, when you actually download a game or a song or you download some software, you are actually Using which protocol? You are using file transfer protocol. So even uploading as well as downloading files over the internet from or to the web server is unable to be processed without using FTP protocol. So FTP protocol is a requisite while you upload or download a file. So transfer of file from the web server to the client computer, we all know, is downloading, that is taking something from the web server and downloading it to the client. That is, suppose you are downloading a song or downloading, say, a game. So what you are doing, it is known as downloading. Whereas when files are transferred from our computer, that is client computer, and it is actually sent to the web server, we say it to be uploading. So it is uploading. So you students, I think you have understood what is uploading and what is downloading. So let us move to the next given slide. The next slide is for transmission control protocol / internet protocol. Now students, whenever we send the data over internet, that data actually is to be received by the receiver, and the data should be successfully even sent from the sender computer to the receiver computer. And it is not possible if we don't follow which protocol? Transmission control protocol / internet protocol. So students, it is not one protocol, it is actually a set of protocols. You see, there are two protocols, transmission control protocol and internet protocol. Both of them work together. They work together in full synchronous method. Now, this protocol is used for, as I said, transferring the files over the internet or private networks, as well as it also sees that the files has been received by the receiver properly. Now this protocol, actually how it works, it establishes a connection between the sender and the receiver so that the data that is being sent is sent very smoothly. So the protocol establishes a connection on a network for smooth transfer of data. Now, what is the work of these two parts? What actually transmission control protocol does and what internet protocol does? Students, transmission control protocol actually sees how the data would be sent from the sender computer to the receiver computer. Actually, the transmission control protocol breaks the data into small parts called packets. And these packets, after they have been formed, they are sent over the network. They take different path on the network, and who looks after this given sending of the messages, that is flow of the messages on the network? The IP protocol now takes charge, and it actually sees how the data packets that has been made by TCP protocol would successfully reach to the receiver. So the actual flow of data in the form of packets over the network is looked after by the internet protocol. After the given data packet reaches to the receiver computer, TCP protocol again takes the charge back, and it now sees and confirms that all the packets have been received, and if some packets have not been received, they have to be resent by the sender computer. So TCP makes packets and also checks whether all the packets have been received by the receiver computer properly, and shows the packet to the receiver computer in the form of message what has been sent, and the IP protocol actually takes charge of successful flow of the message over the network. So I think students have understood the work of TCP and IP protocols. As I said, TCP makes packet and confirms whether the packets have reached the destination properly or not, and IP controls the actual transmission of the packets over the internet. IP tries to make this flow as quickly as possible through a least congested path. Now let us move further, students. We will now deal with one more topic. This topic is known as network security. Students, while we work on internet or we do something or the other on internet, we are actually always in a situation where our data can be stolen by cyber criminals or cyber miscreants, I may say. There are different types of cyber crimes that take place every now and then, and the government has also set a given branch of law called cyber law, which looks after these sort of crimes and gives justice to the persons who have fallen prey of this sort of crimes. Now students, when we are actually using the internet, we should also know what are these laws, how we can be safe on internet. So on the basis of whatever our book has on class 8, we'll understand how a cyber criminal is actually caught when he does a mischief on the internet. So students, let us go forward and understand it properly. See, as I said, there are certain miscreants on the internet who access the data. Data, students, these data are very important data. They access the bank account details, the email accounts of an individual, and can misuse it. Suppose someone accesses an email account and uses that email account to send false messages or hoax messages to another person. The another person would understand that it is something which is a mischief and may go to the cyber crime department for justice. Who will be caught? The person who had actually made the email account would be caught at first, but when the cyber criminals have used the account of a given person, at last the cyber police would come into a conclusion and catch hold of the individual who actually was a cyber criminal, and the person who had created the account will be safe. This is how government helps us. So we all understand that miscreants on the internet are always active. They access the data and use this data, or I should say misuse this data for their benefit, and sometimes for sheer fun also. These miscreants, do you know students what they are called? They are called hackers, and the activity they do is known as hacking. Now what is hacking then, students? It is unauthorized access of someone's computer, and why it is being accessed? For stealing the data. And we should understand that this sort of activity comes under cyber crime, and the laws have put a very severe offense for people who go for cyber crime or who actually do cyber crime. So the cyber law has set a very severe offense, and offense of different magnitude for different levels of cyber crimes. The law is very stringent, and it is not only India as a country which has implemented cyber laws. Every country of the world has its own set of cyber laws and actually gives justice to the person who have fallen prey of the cyber criminals using these stringent laws. Now students, we should understand that if a person has committed cyber crime, such a person would be easily caught. That is, a hacker can be easily caught. Do you know why, students, these hackers can be easily caught? Because every computer which is connected to the internet has a unique IP address associated with it. As I said, internet protocol. So the internet protocol actually provides a unique address to all the computers which is on the internet. And whenever data packets are sent from one computer to another computer, that is from sender computer to receiver computer, with those data packets, the IP address is also attached, and the path these packets take, IP address actually works like a footprint, and cyber police can easily see these footprints, these IP address, and understand from where this given message had come, and therefore they can be used for catching a hacker or a cyber criminal. So what we see is, as every computer and even mobile phones have an unique IP address associated with it. And what is IP address, student? It is actually a set of 4 numbers separated by dots. Example, you can well see, this is the IP address 132.198.160.55. We also say 132.198.160.55. In this way, different IP address would be there, and one unique IP address would be there for each and every machine that is on the internet, that is connected on internet. And the numbers, the 4 numbers which have been separated by 3 dots, these 4 numbers are known as octets, and these students' IP address help us to find out cyber criminals. As I said, when they send a message over the internet, the IP address is also associated or attached to the message, and we can easily catch hold of these criminals using this IP address. The IP address works like a footprint. Now students, IP address is not the only thing through which we can catch a cyber criminal. With IP address, every device on the network is also assigned a global unique address called MAC address. The full form of MAC is Media Access Control. So IP address is there. With IP address, every device on the network also has a MAC address. Now students, MAC address looks like whatever has been shown on the slide. It actually is of 6 bytes, and it looks like 2 given characters, then a colon, again 2 given characters, then a colon, at a total of 622 characters, and they are separated by colon. So this is a MAC address. Okay, the address can be different also. So whenever you have a mobile phone or a computer and you are using internet, the MAC address of the device is stored in the router through which the internet connection is being used. Okay, so if even your hardware has been stolen, not only software, the MAC address can help us to recover the hardware, because whenever it would be on internet, your machine address, which is unique, would be shown that it is at this given location, and the cyber police or the normal police can go and catch hold of that man who has actually stolen your laptop or your mobile or your tablet. So both from physical given theft or data theft, we can be feeling safe because of the presence of IP address as well as MAC address. MAC address easily help us to catch the cyber criminals, as whatever they do, their activities and the footprints of the crime they commit can easily be analyzed. Now cyber expert and police resolve all cyber crimes by tracking and locating the IP address and the MAC address of the device that has been used for that sort of crime. Okay. I think you have understood, students. So we can feel safe on internet because we have something called IP address and MAC address. IP stands for Internet Protocol and MAC stands for Media Access Control. And these 2 addresses help us to catch hold of a cyber criminal, students. That's all, students, for today. We have understood what protocol is and how we are safe on internet due to IP address and MAC address. And this completes the syllabus for us for the first term. Thank you very much, students, and I think you understood what protocols are and what these different protocols are meant for, what their works are. Therefore, we will understand them properly. When we go to further higher classes, we'll also know how we should behave on internet, how we should practice good things on internet. That is how we can be safe on internet by some practice. What sort of sites we should use, everything would be there when we go to higher classes. Thank you very much, students, and have a very nice day.